Welcome to the World Language School, where learning English is easy, fun, and free. Learning about a new language isn't just about grammar and vocabulary, it's also about fun expressions. So in English, we have lots of phrases called idioms. These are short sayings that don't always make sense and that are a nightmare for non-native speakers if you try to translate them word by word. For example, what does "put a sock in it" mean? Today, we are going to look at 11 popular English idioms that you must know. They'll help you understand native speakers better and maybe even make your English sound more natural. But before we start, please don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell. We're always making new videos to help you improve your English quickly and easily, and it's free. Your support means the world to us. Thank you. So let's start with "put a sock in it." This is a fun and actually useful expression. You can say it when someone is talking too much or being very loud. It simply means be quiet or stop talking. It's a silly image. Imagine putting a sock in someone's mouth to make them stop talking. So, of course, we don't really do that, but the phrase can be quite funny, especially if the person looks confused when they hear it. So nobody knows for sure where "put a sock in it" comes from, but there are two popular ideas. The one idea is that in the old days, people put a sock inside a gramophone, that is an old music player, to make the music quieter because there was no volume control. But more likely, the story comes from World War I. Soldiers in trenches used this phrase, and others like to put a cork in it, so to tell someone to be quiet or to shut up. Have you ever heard of the phrase "don't cut off your nose to spite your face"? Well, it sounds actually a bit strange and even a bit violent, but the picture it creates is easy to remember. This idiom means doing something to hurt someone else, but in the end, you hurt yourself more. For example, your friends invite you to your favorite restaurant, but you had a small argument with one of them. So you get angry with them and you say, "I'm not going," even though you really want to go. That's cutting off your nose to spite your face. You lose something good just to make a point. It's better to just calm down and enjoy the evening. But where does this strange idiom come from? Well, one possible origin is from a very old story in Scotland in the year 867 AD, when Saint Ebba was the abbess, that means the head nun, of Coldingham Priory. Now, the legend says that when Viking raiders were coming to the priory, she told the nuns to cut off their noses and upper lips so that the Vikings would not find them attractive. Sadly, the Vikings were shocked and very angry, and they burnt down the the building with the nuns still inside. It's a terrible and sad story, but it shows how extreme people can be when they act out of fear or anger. And it helps us to remember the meaning of the idiom, hurting yourself more than anyone else. Another possible origin of this idiom comes from the Middle Ages, so a very long time ago in history. Back then, cutting off someone's nose was sometimes used as a punishment or as a way to take revenge. It was very painful and very serious. Over time, people started using the idea as a metaphor, not real violence, but to describe any action where you hurt yourself because you're angry or want revenge. That is why today we say, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Have you ever tried to talk to someone but they don't answer or just stare at you with no reaction? Well, maybe they aren't listening, or maybe they don't understand. Either way, it feels like you are talking to a brick wall, someone who gives no response at all. In fact, sometimes a real brick wall might be easier to talk to. Now, the next idiom is it costs an arm and a leg. Now, having looked up some of the origins of other idioms for this video, I was kind of worried where this one was going to lead, but it is a common phrase used in the UK. So the basic meaning is that something is very expensive. So, did you buy that top in the end? No, it cost an arm and a leg. Now to its origins. It apparently is an American phrase, and it is coined after the Second World War, and it refers to the high costs that servicemen paid by losing their limbs for their country. Now, here is a phrase that comes up a lot in day-to-day life. Have you ever been talking about someone and then suddenly they appear, or you get a call, or you get a message? Well, that's when you say, speak of the devil. It's a fun phrase that means we were just talking about you. The phrase is the short form of the English idiom, speak of the devil and he doth appear. But don't worry, it's not serious or scary today. It's just a light and funny comment when someone shows up at the exact moment when you mention them. Some people also use it when talking about something that suddenly happens. Like you say, I hope it doesn't rain, and then it starts raining. In that way, it's similar to the idea of tempting fate. Now, the next phrase or idiom is something that always makes me smile. So in English, Bob's your uncle means something like, and there you go. Or that's it, it's done. It's just like the French et voila. For example, you put the pasta in boiling water, wait 10 minutes, and Bob's your uncle. Dinner is ready. Where does this come from? Well, one story says that it started in 1887. A British Prime Minister named Robert, or Bob Cecil, gave a top government job to his nephew. People joked that the only reason he got the job was because Bob was his uncle. And just like that, Bob's your uncle became a funny way to say that something was quickly and easily done. Now, my mom used to say this idiom all the time. If someone is full of beans, it means they have lots of energy. They're active, excited, maybe even a little wild. You can use it for children, so you can understand why my mom always used to use it. Pets, or anyone who is full of life and bouncing around. For example, the kids are full of beans today. They've been running around since 7 a.m. Where does it come from? Well, it's simple. Beans are full of protein, and protein gives you energy. So if you're full of beans, you're ready to go. Have you ever said, that's the worst thing ever? So in English, however, we can say, that really takes the biscuit. This phrase is used when someone does something which is very annoying or rude or unbelievable in a bad way. For example, she didn't do any work on the project and then she complained that we didn't include her name. That really takes a biscuit. It means it's the most annoying thing of all. Actually, you also use this in the United States. There is a small change. You say to take the cake. So Whether it's a biscuit or it's a cake, the meaning is that was the worst, the most shocking thing so far. Another common and useful expression in English is strike while the iron's hot. It means take action quickly while you have the chance. If you have a good idea or a great opportunity, don't wait. Do it now while things are still working in your favor. Where does it come from? Well, a long time ago, blacksmiths, these are people who work with metal, had to shape hot iron before it cooled down. Once the iron got cold, it was too hard to change. So they had to strike while the iron was hot. And that's where the phrase comes from. It's actually a great lesson for life. Don't wait too long or the moment might be gone. The next idiom is very common in English. It means don't make a plan, just see what happens and decide at the moment. And it is play it by ear. For example, are you going to eat out tonight? I don't know yet. I'll play it by ear. It's a relaxed way to say, let's just wait and see. Where does it come from? Well, as you can guess, the phrase comes from the world of music. If a musician plays a song without reading the notes, they use their ears to guide them. So they play by ear, listening carefully and making it up as they go along. Now, we use this phrase in everyday life whenever we choose to improvise instead of making a plan. Now, the next idiom is fun and actually very expressive. It means someone or something is making you feel very angry or annoyed. For example, my neighbor plays loud music every night. It's driving me up the wall. It's like saying, I am so irritated, I want to climb the wall and escape. The image is actually funny. Imagine someone feeling so annoyed that they try to climb up the wall to get away. You can use this phrase for loud noises, bad habits, delays, or anything that really gets on your nerves. Now, if someone says, don't bite off more than you can chew, what do they mean? Well, it means don't take on more work or responsibility than you can handle. This is a great phrase for people who try to do much at once. It's a warning, so don't say yes to everything or you might get stressed or overwhelmed. Where does it come from? Well, this phrase comes from 19th century America when people used to chew tobacco. If you put too much tobacco in your mouth, you couldn't chew it properly. So it's just like taking on too many tasks. It's a clear and useful reminder, only take what you can manage. Like bite off more than you can chew, the next idiom is also mainly used in the negative. Stop blowing your own trumpet. This phrase means to boast or to brag about yourself or to talk too much about how great you are. So it is usually used in a negative way. For example, okay, we get it. You won the race. Stop blowing your own trumpet. Where does it come from? Well, there are two ideas about where this phrase comes from. In medieval times again, important men had someone called a herald who would speak about their achievements. The herald would begin by blowing a trumpet to get everyone's attention. It could also be that trumpets are loud, and when you blow one, everyone notices, just like when someone talks too much about themselves. So blowing your own trumpet means trying to make sure that everyone hears how amazing you are. So there you have it, 11 fun and useful English idioms that native speakers of English often use. We really enjoyed sharing them with you, and we hope you had fun learning something new in this video. Don't just play it by ear. Strike while the iron is hot, but don't bite off more than you can chew. Start small and try using just 1 or 2 idioms in your next conversation. Tell us which idioms takes a biscuit for you in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video and we're not just blowing our trumpet, give us a like, leave a comment, and Bob's your uncle. You're one step closer to sounding like a native. Thanks for watching and keep practicing your English with us here at the World Language School. See you next time.